Hey, hope you're having an amazing day. Cuties Creations here with another message on the restitution. So, what I wanted to talk about today was what would you do with $2.9 million, free healthcare, free education, and a fair judicial system for African Americans? What does that look like for you and your family to be debt free? What does it look like for you and your family to not have to worry about healthcare problems ever again? What is it going to look like for you and your family to have financial freedom as well as have a home, have some stability? Well, in our country, that was the promise. The 40 acres and a mule back in the day is now the value of $2.9 million. And on top of that, we want the education for free that was stolen from us. And we would like the judicial reform that make laws that are fair to and level the playing field and are just to African Americans in our country. And we would also like the healthcare system. A lot of things that was carried over through slavery and Jim Crow laws were taken and initiated that are more detrimental to us than the slavery itself was the mental health and the financial disparity and the judicial reform systems that were put into place that would just lock us back up and make us indentured servants, or our new age slavery, which is prison. The things that are happening now that are detrimental to our way of life now, and a lot of other Black people who aren't African American that are experiencing have really harmed us as a community. The things that so say for instance you get into trouble and it's not any of your fault, or it may be your fault, and the playing field for African Americans and other Black people who live in our country is seeing these disparities amongst our judicial system. Like the sentencing isn't fair, or the people who are actually trying to convict you are using means to convict you even though you are innocent. We've seen it time and time again, and we need this judicial reform in order for us to be able to live a better life here in America. The promise after slavery was for us to be able to live a better life, and that was through 40 acres and a mule. And when that was snatched from up under us, because it wasn't brought into law, and when the next president came in after they killed Lincoln, they just got rid of it. And some people did receive their 40 acres and a mule, and some of them did, and it got drawn back, and it was taken from them, but some of them did. And we have made total strides in this country, but there's also millions of African Americans that are still suffering in our country. And a lot of the laws and things that are now put into place, like women's rights wouldn't have happened without civil rights. Laws for children wouldn't have happened without it. Laws for seniors or Social Security wouldn't have happened without these laws that we fought so long and hard for. As well as the reason why I'm calling it restitution is because this was a prison. It wasn't just a prison that was a physical prison, but when you were caught in a mental institution, an institution of the mind where your whole being is in a state of lack because you've never been removed from it. That was the reason for them to put into place the 40 acres and a mule, because you sometimes, I know you've heard of this saying as you give a man a fish and he can eat for the day, and then you teach him how to fish, then he eats for the rest of his life. Well, it was supposed to be the fish and the teaching how to fish, because we were coming from such disparities and not being able to have anything of our own. It was supposed to be both, one and all. And now we're here in 2025, and we need to fight for the things that are the most important to us, and the equivalent, because we don't have enough land to give 40 acres and a mule that is really good land. So what the equivalent of that is, which I looked up, is $2.9 million. On top of that, I would like to have, we're going to put into it free education, because the $2.9 million will just be for the people who are here now, and the next generations, they won't get the $2.9 million. The only people who will get it are people who are pregnant now, and that'll be the last generation of them, and then the people who are here now. So anyone that's here now, and then after that, free healthcare, free education, and laws that aren't crafted to harm us, and a free playing field. Not a free playing field, but a better playing field for our judicial system, where we're not getting locked up for means that are not our own, when we're innocent. Now that looks a lot different. That's what we're going to talk and explore that as much as possible, because the way laws are created, it's not like, oh, we want to frame these laws where we get off scot-free. If someone's doing something, then yes, they should be prosecuted, but it shouldn't be to the fullest extent of the law to feed the prison systems. We are not making more slaves. What we shouldn't be. We should be trying to figure out ways to integrate people back into our society so we have a better and more perfect union. We have contributed in ways of life. And what I mean by that is we have lost a lot of lives in America during the passage into the country from going from Africa to here. There was thousands of lives that were lost. And then during those slavery days, there were so many people that were displaced and killed. So that particular part has harmed us in a really big way. And then all the Jim Crow and all the lives that were lost in between there. And then because of the eating and how they fed us, we lost a lot of lives as far as our health and everything. So these things that we have to acknowledge to move forward. We have to acknowledge how our judicial system is not just for the color of your skin, unless you have a lot of money. And then even when you do have a lot of money, you could still get a very unjust system if they feel like you should have to go to jail, and just because of the color of your skin. There are so many examples of this and how it works against us, but we're going to explore that. We're going to break it down in each and every section, from education to health, to with the focus on mental health, to finance, and then the judicial reform. That's going to be the meat and potatoes. But the very first subject was for us to talk about what it would be like for your family to have $2.9 million at this day and age, in this political climate, and this economy. How would that help you and your family? I know that my son and myself, we would benefit very greatly from owning our own home and being able to flourish in the business that I'm creating. And my son also has dreams and aspirations to take us to a whole nother galaxy. So I would love to see that, and that's going to take money. Now, will it take more than $2.9 million? Absolutely. But to have some financial stability in order for these things to start to flourish would mean the world to us. So thank you so much for your time, energy, and all of your patience with me during this time. I'm supposed to be getting the website up. There's a lot of things that are going on with the filing of the court emotion and everything, so I'm getting these things together and everything, so you will be hearing more from me down the pike. But the next few videos will be all about education and the history of it, and how can we get to a more perfect union with African Americans here in America and getting free education across the board. Thank you so much. I would love for you to like, share, comment, and subscribe. We love to have you as far as our family is concerned, and I want you to have an amazing day. Thank you so much. Have a great day.